Hello and welcome back in this very special and very cool requested video, because this is my first family requested video by a family member, a truly good friend, and he's like a brother to me, Mr. Anwar Khudary. Mr. Anwar Khudary. So he requested this Honda K24A4 engine, which is a 2.4 liter inline 4 engine for his 2007 Honda Accord. So this version, actually, it's a very restricted version because there is another version with more compression ratio, more ignition timing, with a lot more horsepower, because this engine was restricted to 166 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque, and the other unrestricted version with 10.5 to 1 compression ratio was making 200 horsepower easily. But since this is his own car and since he's a family member, I will be more than glad to make his requested video. So before we start with all of the specs, I would love to remind you guys, please, if you enjoy the video, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video, and hit that notification bell button so you can get a notification each time I release a new video. And if you want to request an engine, a custom engine or a custom car, I will tell you at the end of the video. So as you can see, all of the buttons are locked because I made another versions of it. This is the naturally aspirated version, and you will see a turbocharged version of the same engine. So obviously it's an inline 4 engine, aluminium block, as you can see, 87mm on the bore, 99mm on the stroke, which equals 2354 cc engine, dual overhead camshafts. So we have 2 camshafts on top, 4 valves per cylinder, so each cylinder will have 2 valves for the intake and 2 valves for the exhaust. It's very obvious. Aluminium cylinder head, as you can see, aluminium. We have variable valve lift technology, or as everyone will say it, and as Honda named it, the legendary VTEC technology. We have cast iron crankshaft, heavy duty forged connecting rod, and forged pistons. The reason why it was equipped with these internals because this engine, with its restricted version, the RPM limit is 6,500, but there is another version of it with 7,100 RPM limit, and both of them are using the same internals, the same forged connecting rods and the same forged pistons. But the difference is this restricted version, the ECU of this engine was limited, the RPM in it was limited to 6,500. So basically, and I've seen it actually, some Honda enthusiasts with this engine, they actually tweaked their ECU and they raised the RPM limit to 7,000, and they are running the engine very reliable, very cool, because the internals was designed from the factory to run at this much of an RPM. But the Honda limited the stock ECU to this much RPM because this engine was limited to 166 horsepower. So as you can see, we have +5 quality because I want to make the internals to run as the original internals all the way to 7,000 RPM. Although the tachometer in the car, not the odometer, yes, the tachometer, the RPM gauge will go all the way to 8,000. That's what Honda was designed the dashboard or the tachometer to go all the way to 8,000 RPM, but the ECU will cut fuel at 6,500. So we have, as you can see, this is the restricted version with 9.7 compression ratio, 45 on the cam profile, and 51 on the variable valve lift profile. We have variable valve timing on the intake only. On the intake only, not the all cams. And yes, you can see that, you can check that this version, the K24A4 Honda engine, was equipped with variable valve timing on the intake valves only. And yes, I admit it, the quality is -13 because in automation game, if I want to achieve these numbers, the power and torque at these RPM limits, I had to push the quality to -13 to achieve it. But of course, in real life, the engine was very reliable, and of course the quality will not be -13 in real life. Moving on, we have naturally aspirated engine, multi-point EFI injection fuel system with single throttle body and standard intake manifold, because it's a daily driving engine. This is not a sporty engine or an extremely economical engine, so standard intake manifold will work just fine. It will keep the engine very quiet, it will keep the service cost very low, and that was the whole idea of it. Regular 91 octane fuel, which is, well, the obvious fuel to run on this engine. 13.3 is the air fuel ratio. Because we are running on multi-point EFI, 13.3 seems very normal, but if I was running direct fuel injection, of course 13.3 will be considered very high. Let's see what we have here. We have the ignition timing on 89, which is a little bit on the advanced side, but still very good. Because I want to achieve these numbers, I had to push the ignition timing to 89. The RPM limit, as I mentioned before, on this version of this engine is 6500 plus 8 quality on the fuel system. The exhaust system is very normal, very quiet, very reliable exhaust system, which is a short cast headers 2.2 inch exhaust diameter or 57.1 millimeters. We have a 3-way Cadillac converters, no first muffler, and a reverse flow second muffler with plus 15 quality. The plus 15 quality for an obvious reason, which is I want to keep the engine very quiet and I want to achieve these numbers. So yeah, that's why it's plus 15 quality. We have these are the final results. 166.1 horsepower at 6300 rpm, 160 pound-feet of torque at 4000 rpm. So the numbers are very normal and very close to the real engine. I tried really hard to go exactly equal to the real engine, but in automation game it's really impossible. I tweaked the camshafts and the quality and everything, the fuel, the air fuel ratio, the ignition timing. I tweaked with them like for a really long time, because I really cared about this engine, because it's a family requested engine. But these are the closest numbers that I could achieve to the real ones. Yeah, these are the closest one and the lowest one that I could achieve with these horsepower and torque numbers. So as you can see, even with minus 13 quality camshafts, the reliability is actually very high. As we all know, Honda engines are extremely reliable. They will live forever if you take care of them, if you service them very regularly. You change the oil very regularly. They will serve you like forever, and they will go thousands and thousands of miles, no problem. Fuel economy 18.9%. I consider it actually very cool and very good, because 13.3, this is actually normal air fuel ratio, but since we have good amount of compression ratio, good amount of ignition timing, the end result in the fuel economy is actually impressive. Octane rating is 90.6, which is very cool. Emissions are low, not bad. Smoothness also normal, not bad. This is actually impressive. The throttle response with regular multi-point EFI and a single throttle body, 60 point is actually very good, very responsive. The engine is extremely quiet, which is perfect. Power, torque, the engine is actually lightweight. The engine is not heavy, because it's a 2.4 liter inline 4 engine, and this engine only weighs 138.8 kilograms, which is light actually. Engineering time production units, well, I don't care about these, because this is a close replica of a current engine and I'm not gonna produce this engine, so I don't care about these two. And now we can fire up this beast here. As you can hear, the engine sounds very normal, very boring, very normal, nothing special. Nothing special at all. And this is how the engine looks from the inside. Regular 4-cylinder forged, beautifully made forged pistons and forged connecting rods, regular cast iron crankshaft, and of course the dual overhead camshafts with 4 valves per cylinder. 4 valves, 2 for the exhaust, 2 for the intake. Perfect. Now let's rev this beast. VTEC has kicked in. So as you can see, the results are very good. They are not bad. A regular, economical, daily driving, reliable engine with, as you can see, with normal look, normal performance, normal reliability. Everything is very normal with this engine. Now we have finished the regular daily driving replica, but now since we have this much of a headroom and this much of really strong internals, we can actually turbocharge this engine, and we can turbocharge it easily and make a good amount of horsepower and torque. And you can actually see on the internet a lot of Honda enthusiasts turbocharging this beast here, because it's very easy to turbocharge it. You just need a different exhaust system, a custom header for the turbo, and of course you need a turbocharger, and you need to tweak the ECU, pull out a lot of ignition timing, push a little bit of fuel in, and job done. Same internals, same camshaft, same everything, and you will have very good amount of torque and horsepower. So let's see by how much. I already turbocharged this engine in another version because I re-recorded the video because I forgot to turn on the mic in the first time at my first attempt. So this is the turbocharged version of it. Same internals, let me show you. Same capacity, everything is the same material, same everything, same internals, +5 quality, the same compression ratio, the same camshaft, variable valve lift profiles, same quality, same everything. But the difference here, we have a turbocharger, ball bearing internals for the turbocharger, 417 horsepower, supporting intercooler, and a very much custom turbocharger with, of course, 46mm on the compressor, 30.6mm on the turbine, maxed out AR ratio, and 8.82 psi of boost and zero quality. The difference in the fuel mixture and the ignition timing, I pulled like 40 of the ignition timing, and I pushed a little bit of fuel in, like 2 extra points. The RPM limit still the same quality, and the exhaust system is actually a little bit different now. It used to be 2.2 inch, now it's 2.8 inch exhaust diameter, with a modern high flow 3-way catalytic converter, and of course a different muffler. It used to be reverse flow, now it's a straight through, same quality, and the end result is 228.8 horsepower and 218 pound-feet of torque. We started with only 166 horsepower, now it's 228. We started on 160 pound-feet of torque, now we have 218 pound-feet of torque. So the engine is actually more powerful, more torquey, more fuel efficient. Yes, that's very cool. Now the engine is more fuel economical. The engine is a little bit more noisy, less throttle response, same smoothness maybe, and the emissions are a little bit more than it used to be, but of course the difference is just amazing. And this is on the same regular fuel. I'm not using premium or any kind of high octane fuel, the same regular crappy 91 octane fuel, and we are making this much of horsepower and torque. I'm really impressed, and I really like the turbocharged version. Check out the difference in the sound. So as you can see, the turbo is actually very efficient. It will kick on, it will spool very quickly at 2300 RPM. The turbo will be running very cool, very efficient, in a very efficient way. And as you can see, we'll have all this torque curve and all of this power curve all the way to, let's see, all the way to 6200 RPM, and then job done. So as you can see, the end result is very cool. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. I thank you so much, Mr. Anwar, for your amazing requested video. I hope that you like it, and I hope that all of you guys like this video. So please, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video, and now I will tell you how you can request a custom engine or a replica of a current engine, if of course Automation Game can support it, or if you want to request a custom car, you need to add my Snapchat. It's Lord Bas94, Lord BAS94, so I can add you on the channel group, so you can request your requested video over there. You can chat with all of the channel fans. You can enjoy your time over there. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now, my friends.